Hi, my name is Chase Turner, and the title of my project is Medical Mistrust, African Americans and COVID-19. The main issues of my project are past issues that reflect today's relationship between African Americans and the medical community, how the COVID-19 has affected the African American community, and how does COVID affect the African Americans population's ability to be treated for other medical issues such as the flu or diabetes and stuff of that lines. If we take a couple steps back and talk about the past, there were slavery and the different trials and testing that occurred on slaves that weren't exactly okay. For example, performing labor on African American females without using anesthesia, past medical trials such as the syphilis, overall mistrust in the government that stems from different things depending on who you ask. And to the side, you have an image of an actual person or black man being injected with syphilis when they were told that this was supposed to just see how immune they were. But instead, the exact opposite happened, and nobody was really immune to it. What is implicit bias? Implicit bias is already coming into a situation and saying that this person can do such and such without truly understanding and getting a chance to know the person. And I feel like that really was the overall theme in my project. So I do think that it's not okay for people to come in situations with implicit bias because you never know who the person is and how the person may take it. Research and findings. So in my project, I used a lot of databases, data charts, and interviews. I conducted 2 interviews with 2 people in the medical community. I used data charts to talk about different things in databases just to make sure that what I was looking up came from a really reliable source. The specific databases that I used were different databases throughout the school library. Um, Such as EBSCO, Academic Search for Merit. I did use other things such as the CDC and other medical websites to help get all of my ideas and details through and straight. Um, right here, you see an example of a data chart that talks about the death ratio between all the different races that you would typically see in America, or the most prominent ones rather. Um, I Even though African Americans is lower than Hispanic or Latino percentages, the only difference is population overall. There are less African Americans than there are Hispanic and Latinos in America, so that's pretty much the reason why the numbers are low. But if certain parties weren't as populated, then the numbers would be a little bit higher. My experiential aspect, I was able to teach 2 different classes, one in my capstone class and another in my kinesiology and rehabilitation class. I use my experience to be able to learn and get feedback from fellow students in order to tweak certain things that I would need to work on in my presentation so I can bring that back and present it to you all. One of the interviews that I conducted was with Dr. Melina Kuhn. She is a certified registered nurse anesthetist and the founder of Diversity in CRNA, and her main goal in her job is to promote diversity for young black nurses and moving forward so that they can have a promising future for themselves. Another interview that I conducted was with a family friend, Dr. Wendell Pearson. He is the physician head of all hospitals in Prince George's County. And with both interviews, I wanted to gain up 2 different perspectives with a couple questions that were on the lines of my project. And so being able to talk with him really really helped to see the difference between a civilian perspective and an actual medical official perspective. So the solution that you would find in my project are awareness and more community engagement to gain more trust. And what I mean by that is just being able to both on both sides be more progressive and engaging. Um, I would say kind of like educating people also because that helps with ease 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 the tension between both sides and get people to understand that it's these are things that happened in the past and towards the future it would be easier to develop relationships. I want to thank Miss Millicent and Dr. Rahman for being able to work with me throughout this entire year and helping me with different things throughout my project. Thank you.